Hey, greetings, everybody. Brian Deckard here. All right. So here we are at 3:30. Yep, on a Monday. Gotta love those Mondays. Mm. So who am I right here? So my name is Brian Deckard. I am the owner and designer and developer over here at Deckard and Company. We are on the Gulf Coast of Florida, just south of Tampa, of course, on that beautiful Gulf Coast. Yep, that's right. And what do we do? We're a small boutique marketing agency, and we do basically, well, actually, you know what? Why don't I just show you? Yeah, right here. So we offer website design and development, website management, website hosting, social media marketing and management. We also do online optimization, so that SEO, right? Copywriting services and videography services. Now, when it comes to videography, of course, we're talking about marketing videos and stuff like that, social media videos. We're not coming out there doing a movie for you. So, yeah. So, hey, welcome to today's Monday live session with me here today. What we're going to cover today is before we get into what we're going to cover, yesterday was some fun stuff. We had our championship game. Well, that's right, championship game in the old ice hockey. And right here it is. Check this out right here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We won the championship, the Stanley Keg. Pretty good stuff for the beer leaguers. And you can see I've got my little arrow drawn there. That's me, the old man on the team. We figured it out officially. I'm the old man on the team. Oh my God. Yeah, just terrible. Just terrible. All right. So hey, if you end up popping in here on a live, make sure you hit it up in the comments so that I know you're here, because I like to acknowledge everybody that I can and all that stuff. And plus, happy that uh, we're growing our channel. So that is a real good thing. So okay. So today's topic is this right here. So we're going to kind of go over. So last week we touched real briefly on um, email marketing for small businesses and organizations. And of course, I told you which platform that I absolutely loved, and that's right here, Fluent CRM. And the reason that I love this platform, and I guess you could call it platform slash plugin, because it's an application that installs on your WordPress website, and therefore this email marketing plugin is installed right on your website. So it's not using a third party where you have to log into like a MailChimp or a Constant Contact. Oh no, this is all on your website, and you can make it to what you can make it to whatever you want it to be, which is one thing that's really cool. And today I put it on one of my test sites. So we'll kind of get in there and kind of look at it and play around with it together real quickly to see what it's all about and to see what it can do. Because it is a really nice system when you get into it. So yeah, so I think that is pretty darn good stuff. Okay, so why don't we get into it? So what am I talking about? Email marketing, uh, newsletters, right? Newsletter. That's part of it. Is um, putting together newsletters, get people to subscribe on your channel or on your website, get them into your system to collect those leads, but you want to give them something in return. So you want to send them emails periodically, whether it be a monthly, quarterly, gosh, some people do it daily, weekly, whatever. Um, but get them some information, keep them up to date with all things your business, your company, your organization. So yeah, so let's go take a look really quick here, and we'll take a look at what I'm talking about. So what we're going to look at here is one of the newsletters that I sent out, I think in August of couple years ago or whatever. But this is the one that I found and just pulled up because this looks pretty good. Because what this is showing you is that, and this is showing in my browser because you can do that with Fluent CRM. It's just like all the others. You can have everything archived, and then people can still view those newsletters that you sent out in their browser, which is pretty good stuff. So if we're looking at this right here, typical newsletter, the way that I like to do my newsletters, and you might think of the same thing, or you might not think of the same thing. In my newsletter, at the very top, obviously, that's where your header is at. I've got the graphic there showing that, hey, this is a Deckard and Company newsletter. But if you look just below that, and we're talking right here, yeah, we're looking right there. That right there is just a little mini navigation. So when someone gets this email in their, or gets this newsletter in their email, they're going to get a little navigation that they can click on to maybe see all the services that I have to offer, check out all my clients that have given me some amazing kudos and praise. But then you can also connect with me just as easy by that little mini navigation bar. I like that. I've always done my newsletters this way because I will always want my subscribers to have easy access to me and my website. So that's why that's there. So you might want to think about that when you do your newsletter. But then, as we scroll down the page here, it's your typical newsletter. I've got, these little section dividers, right? So like this right here, telling you what's in that section. So like here we were offering a special, so I kind of say a little bit about that. Then we scroll down. We did have a Facebook group, but now everybody's on our self-hosted group. So yeah, we got rid of that Facebook stuff. But then as you scroll down the newsletter, now I'm giving people my latest articles that they can go and read and view and all that good stuff. And then I always try to hit a client spotlight. So always have a little section about this. And then we get down into some more nitty gritty stuff of what's happening in the marketing world. Here it is. Yeah. And then, of course, any updates, like at this particular time, WordPress was updating to 6.3. Of course, we're higher than that now, but you can see at this time, this Google update was a pretty big one that I included in our newsletter. And then, of course, your typical closing out of a newsletter. So I think this looks pretty good. Okay, so real quickly, we're going to take a look at Fluent CRM and what it is and how to kind of use it. We're not going to go in depth or anything like that, but this is just going to show you what Fluent CRM is all about, and that it's actually pretty darn easy to use for anybody, and it installs on your website. Okay, so let's go over here again. So now we're logged in to the back end of my test website, right? One of them. I've got many, but inside here, you're going to see that I installed Fluent CRM Pro. Do you need the Pro version? Not really, but in order to do, and I'll show you the part that you're really going to need it. So I would suggest always get the Pro version. But do you need it? No. If you're going to send like simple email looking stuff, yeah, no, you don't need it. And that's the beauty of this thing. So let's go in here and we're going to check out Fluent CRM Pro. Let's go to the dashboard, because last week I showed you an image of the back, but this is the front end. Of course, we don't have any contacts or anything like that. We don't have anything in here right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of look at it and do it together. So once you install Fluent CRM, it's going to take you through a setup process, which I bypassed for here. But I would highly suggest when that thing loads, just fill out the prompts. It's really easy. It's business name, logo, your address, and stuff like that. Real easy to do. Um, and what we're going to do here is we'll actually go into the settings, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So when we go into the settings, you're going to want to go through this left sidebar here and just make sure everything is filled out, because you want to make sure you stay compliant, right? So you want to go through here and you want to make sure everything's built. So your business name, the full address, your logo, anything else that you can think of that you're going to need to put in here. Go in here to your email settings. If you need to set this, that's cool. This is your footer down at the bottom. So every time that you create a campaign or a newsletter, this right here, this email footer text is going to be on the bottom of those newsletters. So if you want anything in here different, there it is. You can totally type whatever the hell you want in there. It's pretty cool stuff. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we're going to come up here, because whenever you get into email marketing, you're going to want to start segmenting things. So the first thing you have to do is you have to come up with the different lists. So like at Deckard and Company here, we basically have two lists. We have a newsletter, and then we have a client newsletter. So I've created in my account, on our main site, we have those two lists. So if someone was to go to our website and fill out that in the footer, that opt-in form, and you know what, here, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. So if someone was to come to our website and we scroll to the bottom and they subscribe to our newsletter, they are going into our newsletter list, and it's going to tally all that stuff up. It's very nice, very nice. But then, when it comes down to it, we might want to start segmenting as well, where I get into my client newsletter. When clients come in there, I assign tags depending on what type of service they are signed up for. So if they're signed up for hosting, they're going to get that tag of hosting and management. If they're doing social media marketing and management, they're going to get that tag, because then I can create an email newsletter, segment it down to, let's say there's a huge update on the social media realm that I think all my clients that we do that type of service for, they get it, right? They're the only ones that's going to get that, because that's the only, that pertains to only them. So you can see, you're going to come up with your list and your tags. So this is very cool. So we're going to go and do that, and I'll show you how easy it is. All right, so we're going to come over here, and you can see in this left sidebar, and let me do this. So over here in this left sidebar, you've got this right here, the contacts. So you can click that, go to the contacts. Lists, so all the lists that you're going to create, and then tags. So all that stuff is going to be easy to do. So if someone was to fill out that newsletter opt-in, it's going to automatically put them into the newsletter list. So let's go create that list. Yeah, let's go do that. So we're going into the lists, and you can see I have nothing. And then I got this little blue button over here, and all you're going to do is we're going to give this list a title. So it's going to be my newsletter, right? Oh, helps if you can spell newsletter right. And there it is, the slug. Let the slug be what it is, newsletter, small case, and hit create. Nice and easy. So here it is. This is our first list. Love it. Okay, so now I'm going to go create a few tags. So I'm going to go into my tags here, and let's create, and like I said, on our business, I'm going to use our business as an example. If you are a real estate person, you might, your tags might be geographically set, so like, so here in like the Bradenton, Sarasota area, you might set a tag for Sarasota, a tag for Bradenton, a tag for Venice, Parish, Palmetto. So you get that idea, right? But then you can even dive down the tags even deeper and go into the neighborhoods like Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton Beach, Anna Maria Island. So there's so many ways that you can segment your list out by using tags. Very good stuff. So our first tag here, though, we're using our business as an example. So I'm going to go with the first tag that I'm going to create is, let's say, hosting. Okay. So anybody that's on this list that's using our services hosting, they're going to get this tag, and we'll create that. So this is how easy it is to set this stuff up. And you can go pretty crazy. You can go pretty crazy on this stuff. But it is pretty cool. So let's go into the contacts now. So as you can see, I have no contacts. You can import them. So let's say you're coming from a MailChimp or a Constant Contact or some other platform. You can export from there and then import it into here, so you won't lose any of your contacts. So that is a really cool aspect of this right here. And pretty much all platforms do this. But it is pretty cool. So you can import contacts that you already have, which is pretty awesome. But let's go in here and let's put a contact in here. So you can see basic information. You're going to put, we'll put Russell in here. Russell Deckard, and then let's do B. Let's say Russell's got a phone number of 555-123-4567. That looks like a good phone number. And we'll say you can even put date of birth in here. Of course, you can leave this stuff blank. We won't put it in there, but there you go. And then if you do, so this is where the CRM kind of comes in. Now, this isn't going to be like your typical CRM that you think of when you think of Kanban tables and stuff like that. But this is a great way because, like I said, you can really do some cool stuff with this. You can create those custom fields. You can do so many things with this. So this really could honestly be a pretty decent CRM as well. Because like I said, you can put address, so the business address, the client address, whatever. You can do so many things. It really is pretty nice. Okay, so here we go. And now, since I'm adding Russell here manually, I can choose which list to put Russell into. So we're going to come here and put Russell in the newsletter list. And Russell here, he does hosting. So he's going to get our hosting tag. And if we had more tags, well, obviously they would show up here and I can choose multiple tags for a contact. Very good stuff. And then let's just create the contact. And there it is. So now we are in the contact that we just created. And here you can see it gives us a great ways to get that client relationship and keep it in order, I guess we could say. You can come in here, you can, go into the notes and activities. You can create notes just like a CRM. Very good stuff. You can come into this emails tab here. So any emails that you have sent out, you can see whether or not he got it or not, the contact. So Russell here, it would show which campaigns or newsletters Russell received. So it's a very, very good stuff. Yeah. So you can see here, and here's the custom fields button. So if you click that, you can come in here and start creating custom fields. So yeah, it really is a pretty nice platform. Okay, so now that we've done all that, you're like, well, I want to send a newsletter. I want to send something out. So what you're going to do is now we're going to come over here and we're going to see this section right here, campaigns. So you got campaigns, you got recurring campaigns, email sequences, and then email templates. So you can come in here, and I would highly suggest create an email template. So I think that would be very nice. So let me get this off here. Okay. So once, and let me come back over here. Okay. So now let's go in and we're going to create a campaign or a newsletter, right? So we're going to come up here and I'm going to click campaigns. And you can see here, I've got a test campaign that I kind of started. So we're going to click into that one. And you can see here, and of course, I haven't done anything to it. So this is when you create it, this is what you come into. And you can choose the type of campaign or email that you want to do. So you can see that by these little things right here. So there, and there, right? The one that most people are going to use is that one right there. But this is where you have to get into the paid version, the pro version. And I'll show you why in just a second. But that's where most people are going to build out their campaign. Okay. All right. So what you have here, though, is you can create, basically it's a simple box layout, but it's right. It's like an email. So you just get in there and type away. You can click the next one over, and this is kind of the same thing, but it's going to put everything into the middle. So it's centered, right? Justified to the center. And then you got your plain text. You can come in here to your classic editor. So if you're going to be just doing like regular emails, you want it to look like a regular email, this is the one I would prefer anybody to use because it gives you that ability, to bold text really easily. Basically, what you see is what you get, that WYSIWYG, right? So very good stuff. And then if you know HTML, by all means, go in here and do the HTML and make it look as pretty as you want. Yeah, most people don't know HTML. So they're not going to do this one. Now, the one that I recommend and that I like is the one here on the end, and that is what they call the visual builder. So this is what, when you go into a Constant Contact, a MailChimp, a MailerLite, a Droip, or whatever you're using, this is going to be the very familiar way to do it. It's going to be basically a drag and drop. So we're going to create, and you can come in here and you can choose one of these two templates if you wanted. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a blank one. So you can see here, this is what it looks like when you start to build your email app. This is the way they all are. So it's no different from Constant Contact or a MailerLite or a MailChimp. They just, I think, make it look a little prettier probably. Their little interface is a little better, but this really is the same thing. So here you can see where no content, drag content from the right and drop it in there. This is how easy it is. So we're going to drag this image and we're going to drop it right there where it says I can drop it, right? And now over here on this right-handed side, it's asking me, what do we want to do? Where do we want to get our image? So we're going to upload an image, and I've created a real quick image to throw in there, and I'm just going to pull it up here as soon as I find it. Oh, you know what? I didn't load it. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to pull this over. Whoops. Hold on. Sorry. Whoops. All right, hold on here. I'm really messing things up here. There. Oh, man. I'm on the struggle bus today, apparently. I drugged that to the wrong place. All right, we're going to pull that over here. There we go. You can see I'm uploading, and basically I'm uploading that hockey picture, right? The one that we just saw. So we're just letting this thing load up. And as soon as it loads, there it is. And we're going to insert that into the post. And there it is. So that's how easy it is to drop an image in there. So it really is pretty nice. And then you're going to go into the bottom part of that and start building out your newsletter. So, like up here, we want to put, you're going to want to put a heading in there. So let's pull this heading over here and drop it underneath. You can see that blue line. We're putting it underneath that picture. And here it is. And basically your heading goes here. So simple, right? Looks pretty good. And you can see you can format it a little bit. So we're gonna make that bold. I like that. Okay. And now over here on the right-hand side, this is where you can choose a font family. You can change it from a header 1 to a header 2. So you always want, on a website, you always want one header 1 on a page. Then you'll have your header 2s, 3s, 4s, right? So hierarchy. So you only want one header 1, even in a newsletter. So keep that in mind when you design your newsletter. Yep, so you can change the font size. And here's what I'm looking for, because I like to justify my stuff to the center. So there it is. So it puts it right over in the center. Very nice and easy. Yeah, pretty simple to do. And then, of course, we're going to pull this text in here and we're going to drop it down here. And this is where you can start typing to your heart's content on whatever that's about. So you can see it really is very simple to use this platform. And it's so easy to do. Yep. And then, you can save it. You can continue to the next step. And it's just real easy to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue to the subject so I can show you what it looks like. So here's where you would put your subject. And this is what people would see when the newsletter is delivered to their inbox. This is the subject line. So you want to keep it, kind of entertaining enough to where someone's going to click into it. So your subject line goes, there we go. Goes here. So this is pretty good stuff. You can give it a email pre-header if you want. You can do all this stuff. You can add UTM parameters, which is great. Because these UTM parameters are going to give you in your analytics, going to show you that people are coming from this newsletter. So this is very good stuff. This is very good stuff. And then you can even send yourself a test email. But we're going to continue to the next step, the recipient. So who's going to receive this newsletter? So here is where you're going to include contacts right here in the top to the newsletter. Yep. And then you can choose specific tags if you want. You can leave this blank. You can leave this just the way it is, and it's going to send it to everybody on the newsletter list. But if I'm doing a newsletter for only people with hosting, and I want only those people to get it, I'm going to choose my tag of hosting. So now the system's going to look in the newsletter list, find the people with the tag of hosting, and that's the only people that it's going to add to this campaign. And then we're going to continue to the next step. And here it is. So you can see it gives you a nice little look. This is what it looks like. Looks good. I like it. It's going to tell you how many recipients are going to get this email newsletter. And if everything looks great, you can send right now. You can schedule for later. It's pretty cool. And, and then you can schedule emails with a specific date, time, range, which is very cool. So if you're in, let's say like here on the East, and you want it to go out, on, let's say, Eastern Standard or Eastern Daylight, whatever, Eastern time, you can set that. So it's pretty cool what you can do with this platform. Yeah, really, really is pretty cool. All right. So that is pretty much Fluent CRM in a nutshell. We just I mean, we just skimmed the surface on what you can do with this. But it really is a great alternative for a MailChimp, a MailerLite, or a Constant Contact. It really is. Um, and what I love about it, like I said, it installs on your website. So it kind of makes it like yours. You can bend it to your will. You can, with those uh, the different forms and stuff that you can do. So I love this. I love this. Okay, so another cool thing, here it is. So our little, what? A bonus? Yeah, yeah. So this right here. So I found this, what I'm going to show you a while back, and I thought it was interesting, you know, and what it is this Prodigy Commerce. A lot of clients, they like Shopify or what have you, and they're just so dead set on using Shopify. But this right here is kind of an alternative to Shopify, yet it's using your WordPress website, so it's kind of a competition with WooCommerce as well. So this is an alternative from using WooCommerce or a Shopify. And this, so like I said, this really did kind of, I was like, well, this is kind of cool. So let's take a look at it and see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're gonna go here. So here is our um, uh, test website, right? This is our test website. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the shop here. And what this is gonna show, this right here is the Prodigy e-commerce solution, right? Now, what I like about this, and I've only been playing with it for a little bit, so I'm thinking I'm going to do another live stream or probably a long form video about about this system because it really is kind of interesting to me the way that it works. So it installs on your website, right? Yet to manage it, you're actually going to log into their website, which is what I kind of like that because it's keeping all that, um, all the customer information, all that stuff is on their servers, and I think that's pretty cool. So is it taking all that liability away from you? I think it's taken a little bit away from you for sure. Because everything, client wise is going to be stored on their servers. So they're going to be responsible for that. But let's take a look at this really quick. So here it is. Like I said, this is on our test website. And it right out of the box, it looks pretty decent, and like I said, it's on your website. So you can style this however you want. So let's go into the, you can see a quick view, which is pretty cool, right? Most e-commerce stores now have a quick view. Yeah, looks pretty nice. But then let's go right into the product. So here we are into the product, and you can see it's your typical shopping cart. Typical shopping cart. No, nothing fancy. Your typical shopping cart. And in here, you can choose your attributes, so your colors and your sizes. So typical shopping cart. Yeah, I like this. So let's go ahead and put one of these into our cart here. So you can see here, and we're going to add it to the cart. Boom. A nice little side shopping cart pops open, shows you what's in your cart. Life is good. You can view your cart. But what's really cool about this platform is you can also do subscription payments, I guess you could say. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go back to the shop here. And I threw in a couple of little examples. So like we're going to look at this social media marketing. So we're going to go into the social media marketing, and you can see typical, right? Looks like your typical e-commerce site. And we're going to choose our level. So we're going to choose the basic social and watch what it does here. Now the customer can choose, do they want us to do anything social for them for a one-time deal? Or they can have it here on a subscription. So every month it's going to charge them $500 every month. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. So let's do this one right here, add to cart. This is pretty good stuff. So now you can see in the cart over there, we've got the warm-up pant and the marketing. So let's go view the cart. So here's where the magic happens. So when you're viewing your cart, you're still on your website. So everything is still on your website. However, so now we're going to go pay for what we have in our cart here. And you can see here, it shows that this here is a subscription. So it's very nice. It shows you that it's going to be billed every month. So it gives you all that necessary stuff. Very cool. And now we're going to proceed to the checkout. Now here is where it comes off of your website and goes into the Prodigy Commerce platform. So now, and I have this set up where the customer has to be logged in. So you can see here, we do have a customer. So here it is. So everything is right here. It's pretty awesome. I really, really do kind of like this. Like I said, I haven't played with it a whole lot yet, but it just seems to me like it's pretty darn cool. It is pretty darn cool. And then the client can come up here and see their account, their orders, their addresses. They can put their payment methods in there. They can change their profile settings, and then they can even log out. So this really could be, and then when you hit the cart there, it boom, takes you right back to your website where the shopping cart is at. Yeah. I just think that's very cool. I just think that's very cool. And it is definitely a pretty cool way to, or a great alternative to your Shopify or your WooCommerce. Now, is this as robust as those? No, but for most people, this is all you're going to need. Now, when we look at let's go look at their website just real quick. So how much does it cost? It's free. Yeah. So you will have no monthly fee. That's what's cool about this. You know, Shopify, you're paying a monthly fee for the privilege to use their e-commerce platform. Now, and you're like, well, how the hell do they make money? Well, they make money off of your sales, which is your typical, like let's go and let's go to the Y free. So here you can see, you know, your typical payment gateway. So they're basically setting you up with a payment gateway, and then they're going to charge you 2.9% plus the 30-cent transaction rate, which is the same that Stripe and PayPal charges people. Most credit processors, you know, those credit card processors, this is what they're doing. It's 2.9% plus 30%, or 30 cents per transaction. That's pretty standard. So this is pretty cool. So for no monthly fee and to use like a PayPal or Stripe, that's how they make their money. So it really is pretty cool. But like I said, I haven't dove a whole lot deeper into this. But everything that I've played with so far, I really like it. It really is a pretty decent alternative to the WooCommerce and the Stripe. So I think this could be an answer if you're selling t-shirts, stickers, you know, what have you. If you're selling a tangible good, this is pretty decent to do that. And it's not going to break the bank on getting it set up, which is pretty awesome. All right. So I think I've jabbered on long enough, but I will say this. I will say this. So if you haven't yet done so, and if you're over on Facebook, come on over to YouTube and do this right here. Yeah, that's right. Please help a small business out. Subscribe to our channel. If you like our videos, be sure to hit that little thumbs up because, well, we gotta help that algorithm, you know how that goes. So yeah, so it's just helping a small business out. Subscribe to our channel. Costs you nothing and it helps us out. All right. Well, thank you so very much. And as always, if you ever have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section. I answer everything. So yeah, looking forward to hopefully this will help somebody out, and if you're watching this on a rerun, which I love rerun over recording, but it's a recording. So if you're watching this later, hopefully this helps you out as well. All right. Thanks all, and do have a beautiful rest of your day, and do take care and behave. All right. Thanks. Bye.